If I was to build my Land Rover Defender 90 again, the first thing on my list I would do differently would be to get these seats fitted a little bit sooner. I've had my Lucari wingback race bucket seats in my Defender now for about 9 months, and it's been something I wanted to add for such a long time on this whole journey for the last 3 years of owning my Defender. And it took me so long to get to the point where I felt it was justified to buy them because they are expensive. But I've got to say, from a point of contact, as in the place you sit in the car, where you spend the most time in the car, they've been probably one of the best investments I've made in my Defender in improving the overall feel and ride. As you'll probably know if you're watching this channel and you've got a Defender, or maybe you're looking at getting a Defender, they're not the most comfortable things. You'll need to do a lot to them to make them a comfortable daily driver. And so for me, getting seats has done that for me. It's really improved it. And not just that, these seats are also heated, which makes a massive difference in a Defender, because again, they're pretty cold when it gets cold outside, like it is right now. As you will know, if you're a regular watcher of the channel, this Defender, my Defender 90, is going to be won by one of you guys watching this next weekend. So next Sunday, in 7 days time, you could be taking this Defender home just in time for Christmas. Tickets are £5. It's definitely going to somebody. You can enter on the link in the description below in this video, and good luck to everyone that's entered so far. I've had an amazing response from everyone for my Defender, and I'm really excited to be giving it to somebody literally next weekend in 7 days time. Now for number 2 of things I would do differently if I was building my Defender again, I've got my Defender on, as you can probably hear, and I want to take you to the front because this is where I would do things a little bit differently if I had my time again putting this thing together. And that is the wiring. And I wired all of this up originally. So we've got here the ORE bumper with the DRLs that you can see very well there, and also the headlights from ORE, which are actually light parts headlights with a daytime running element on them. I wired all them up myself. Things like the indicators and side lights aren't too bad to wire up, but the headlights, the bumper lights, and other bits in the vehicle, so inside your heated seats, I did all the wiring originally just myself. And although they worked and it was fine, they were a little bit temperamental. Sometimes they wouldn't come on properly and whatever else with that. I'm not an auto electrician, and so for me, taking this about 3 months ago to a professional auto electrician was one of the best things I did, because I got all the cabling redone professionally, it all put in proper conduit, it all kind of rewired again, and now it works perfectly every single time. And I think I would have done that sooner if I had my time again. It cost about £230 to get the whole thing rewired front to back, and actually I think that's really worthwhile. They put a new fuse box in the battery compartment, and so for the new owner of this next week, it's all been redone. It's fully rewired, and now for me, I just trust it a lot more, and I would have got that done a lot sooner during my ownership of the vehicle if I'd known it was that amount of money to get everything done and just to feel confident that it's all going to work in time. I think while I'm here, let me show you the headlight changes. So here we've got the bumper lights and the daytime running lights. These are, like I say, the light parts headlight unit from ORE. They also come in a few other DRL designs. You can get like a horizontal strike as well. I think I quite like the sort of horseshoe design on these ones. I think they suit the Defender really well. I did have halos on originally, which are some other aftermarket lights, and yes, the DRLs are cool and whatever, but the main thing really from headlights, I suppose, is how bright are they, how well do they work at night. So let me just turn that on. So headlights on, let me just show you around the back as well. So headlights on, we've got smoked LED lights at the back here. So my Defender has smoked lights all round for those that ask. And you'll see from the front now, the daytime running lights go off, and what we've got now is the main headlights and the side lights come on too, and the DRLs go off, and I think that's an MOT thing that the DRL lights have to go off. So again, I wired them up originally like this, but then the auto electrician did an even better job of that, and now they just work every time perfectly. So they come on there, which I think looks pretty cool, to be fair. From the front, I do like the daytime running lights on as well, but I think legally they have to go off, I believe, if that's correct. So yeah, so for me, the next thing I would have done differently would have been the wiring. I would have got it done professionally from day one, saved me a lot of hassle, a lot of faffing around, and just had it done by someone professionally. And on my next vehicle I put together on the channel, I'll probably be doing that and getting it done professionally too. So number 3 on the list of things I would have done differently if I was building this all over from scratch again would be things that I would like to add to it that I haven't quite got around to adding yet on my Defender. And there's a number of reasons for that, which I'll go into. So I'm not going to have a chance to do this, but I would say the next person, if you're watching this, these are the things I would have done to this Defender if I had kept it a little bit longer. So the first thing are the side steps. I would have added side steps to my Defender, and that's because It's on standard height springs, so for those that ask again, it's on standard height Alive Comfort springs and Fox shocks on each 4 of the corners. It's at standard height. It's not at the lowered height or a lifted height, so it's standard height, but they're still quite high, particularly with the Cooper SUT Pro tyres. And not necessarily me, but my wife certainly struggles getting in and out of the Defender because it is quite high up, and I think a side step just helps fill that gap between the 2 tyres from the side, but it also makes it a lot easier to get in and out of. So that would have been the first thing I would have done, and the reason I didn't do that is because I was waiting for the ORE side steps to be launched, which have literally just been launched and are stocked now by ORE. And I guess I just didn't get time to fit them, didn't get time to put them on with the kind of time frames that I was getting rid of my Defender in. So that would be the first thing I'd probably add, would be some new side steps for my Defender. The next thing would be something to do with the interior, and that is the head unit, the radio, the Bluetooth connectivity, all that stuff I would like to do on this Defender. So a TD5 has a good space for a double din to put in. Let me show you. Here, this is what I would have done differently. So at the moment, it's got a pure head unit, which is, you know, it's an aftermarket one. It has got aftermarket speakers in this Defender too, under both sides. They're okay. They're just not brilliant. But I probably would have got one of those mud, I think they're mud stuff, so you can get this whole thing replaced with a double din, Apple CarPlay, all that on it. And I'm just not sure about that inner TD5, and that's why I never really got around to doing it, was because you kind of, when you go into gear, let's say you go up into gear here, you're kind of smashing into it all the time. And I think in a Puma, it maybe sits in a better place, so maybe it suits a Puma more. But I could either go for something that fits in here, like a sort of smooth piece of one piece of glass thing that's touchscreen, or the other option is to get a single din one that pops up and comes up about here, which is probably better. So I've got friends that have got TD5s, and they have that one where you press the button and it comes up and pulls out, and that would have been a good option in this vehicle. So I probably would have gone for that next. So I would have done that, and then I also would have gone and put subwoofer in here, somewhere behind the Cubby box, and then some speakers in the rear, just to make the sound system a bit better. Because although it's okay, and to be fair, how good is the Defender ever going to be from a sound system point of view when it's so noisy and rattly? I still think it would have made a big difference. That would have been my next upgrade if I was keeping my Defender a little bit longer, and something I would have done differently if I was to do it all again. So whoever wins my Defender next weekend, I'm hoping to see these upgrades done to it, and I expect to be kept up to date with the progress of it. Let me show you in the back for the fourth thing I would have done if I was to do it all over again. It would be the rear bench seats a bit sooner. So I put these rear bench seats in, not even that long ago, 6 months ago, and they are so much better than the original seats I had. So originally I had the forward-facing seats, and this has been converted from a van back to the kind of a station wagon look. So it's got all the kind of liners in now and everything, but I did all that, and the windows were cut into it. So we had these forward-facing seats that were kind of aftermarket, and I wanted some bench seats, and I wanted ones that matched the front seats. Now, my front seats are Lucari, which are very expensive generally, whereas these are from Exmoor Trim, these bench seats, and these aren't leather, these are vinyl rather than leather at the front, vinyl in the back, but you really don't know the difference, and they match really, really well from a colour point of view. So that would have been something I would have just done a lot sooner, because these, although I don't take people in the back very often at all, these are just way more practical, way more comfortable, rather than folding those seats up and down in the back of a 90, trying to fiddle that thing, the kind of leg in the middle. And maybe if you got them from factory, maybe they're better, you know, the proper fold down seats, but for me these have been an amazing addition, and they also give you loads more boot room. They also fold up a little bit too if you need to be able to strap them up and get things in the back. So that would have been something I would have done just way sooner in the vehicle. I was a bit reluctant to put bench seats in. I was always thinking, oh, the forward facings are better, and I had them for a long time, but thinking about it, we just would have got that done a lot sooner in my Defender. Now the last one on my Defender that's a bit of a controversial one, something I did very early on, almost before I even did anything on the channel on my Defender, so 3 years ago, is getting this roof sprayed. So I had my roof sprayed gloss black. Originally when I bought a Defender, it had a matte black vinyl wrap on it, which was terrible, and it was peeling off all round. But what I did is I got this sprayed sprayed gloss black, sorry. And I did that at the same time as getting the arches sprayed gloss. Again, another question that I get about my arches in general. These are all Land Rover original arches, and I basically got them off eBay from loads of different Defenders and got them all resprayed gloss black, because I think the factory ones have the right amount of outwardness, and they match the tyre very well. Considering now this is on 30mm spacers, they sort of line up very well. So I sprayed the roof and I sprayed them gloss, and it had black boost alloys originally anyway. And I think actually this looks very good. But one option that I'd really like to do, and there's a follower on Instagram, I think it's called Point Blank Canvas maybe. He, from Melbourne in Australia, has a Keswick Green Defender, but with a white roof, or the stone roof and stone wheels. And I just think that look really suits a Keswick Defender. And although I've gone for the kind of black and green and gloss black, which I really like, I think it works well, I kind of sometimes wish I'd kept the roof white and then put white wheels on it, because I think that would have been a really nice thing for my Defender, and I think it would look very good to do that. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you like the black and green, or would you have gone for a bit of white in there as well? Because I think that could work really, really nicely. It's absolutely chucking it down with rain now, but they are the 5 things that I would have done differently if I was to do it all again. If I was to build my Defender again, that's kind of what I would have done. I'm really interested to hear in the comments below, what would you do differently? And remember, in 7 days time, literally next Sunday, there's gonna be a live draw at 8 PM. I'm gonna do live here on YouTube of the draw counting down. This will be won by one of you guys watching it, which I'm very excited about, but also very nervous about. So good luck in the competition. Hope to see you all next weekend, and thanks for watching this video.